know there's a lot of going on team stuff and all that, but the chance to celebrate Peyton for the last time here this weekend too. I wonder if you wouldn't mind reflecting just a little bit on his growth over the last 4 years and kind of what sticking through it has allowed him to do in terms of reaching his potential.
Well, I hope it's meant a lot to he and his family. He's been a tremendous young man to work with, and helped us get to a Final Four, and helped us get to a Sweet 16 a year ago, and he's really carried us this year and been a good leader. So I would hope that we'd have a good finish here. 2 tough games this weekend, but he's meant a lot, and him being from a couple hours away, his family's been able to enjoy it, and other than just the TV, so it's a good 4 years. We hope to make it a little bit better here down the stretch.
We saw that second year down the stretch last season. We've seen it all year. Did you think that this extra gear that he's found these last few games, that was there, and that it could be brought on a game in, game out basis?
Well, he's really played well. We've really been dependent on him to score a lot of late game heroics. So no doubt he's done his part. We've had guys looking for him. Our guys really have a lot of faith in him, and they have given up part of themselves to make sure that he's got the ball at the right time and set picks and get him open. But his competitiveness, his work ethic, has really separated him.
So asking Kelly this on his side of things, just wanted to get your insight and philosophy of when the day comes for the conversation of jersey retirements. Is that ever something you'd be? What's your general thoughts on that? It's not something the program has done a lot of historically, but he would kind of be the player that might.
That's tradition of the school, and we haven't discussed it. So I'm not sure what their standards are. That's usually not the coach's decision, but the school's decision. But in this day and age, 4 years playing as hard as he's played, it's meant a great deal. We've had a lot of other great players, so we'd have to go back through history and decide who, if we change the policy. But again, that's my thoughts on it. The school's the one that sets that precedent, sets that determination. But if anybody's worthy, the all-time winningest player in our school's history, assist leaders, in the scoring conversation, he's done a lot of great things for us.
We always tend to focus on wins and losses, but what do you think his legacy will be on this program, where he's maybe had the biggest impression for this team outside of just the wins and you guys have accomplished with him?
Well, the wins and losses are important because of his competitive nature. He wants to keep a score on everything, and as I look back over the young men I've been fortunate enough to work with, competitiveness is the one trait that really separates a lot of really good players. And he's a competitor. Those are the things that I'll remember, and I hope that's the thing that carries over. Guys that really compete. Dylan Brooks had it. Elgin Cook, Chris Boucher we've had a lot of guys, but he definitely is in that conversation. As I mentioned, I've been fortunate enough to do this a long time, and he's in the top 10 of competitors throughout a 40-year span for me, and it's the one characteristic I think that'll continue to separate him as he moves on. Those guys that hate to lose, everybody likes to win. I like those guys that hate to lose, and he's one of them.
In this climate of player movement these days, you see somebody now you can point to and say, hey, if you stick it out, look at the way he developed, look at the stage he put himself on through his hard work and development.
Every scenario is different, and I hate to, I really don't try to push anybody into anything when it comes to that decision, because it's so individualized, and every family's different. Peyton's got the advantage of, coming from a great family, and his grandparents come from parents. He's got a car. He's got some things that other players. So every family's different. Every situation's different. I'm really glad that he did stay because he had a very lucrative offer he could have taken a year ago, and he decided to stay. So we're very grateful that he did, and I think it will benefit him. The conversations I've had with NBA people have all been positive, and there's definitely a role for a young man who can shoot it, handle it, compete, not turn it over, play a role, and I definitely think he can do that to start with, and who knows what he'll grow into.
Where would this team be this year without Shakur and Anthony?
That's a tough question. You look around the country, those teams that have to depend solely on freshmen, it's kind of tough on them. We've got freshmen who are playing significant roles, but it's nice to have those guys that are seniors and have a maturity about them. And Anthony was in the starting lineup, not in the starting lineup. It didn't matter to him. He wanted to win. He came here to go to the tournament. Shakur, got hurt for 5 weeks, was out. He was hustling back because he didn't want to miss any of his senior year, and he wants to get to the tournament. Those are two guys that are hungry, and they also that sense of urgency that I like to talk about that nobody else wants to talk about. The players don't want to hear it, but they've got it. And you're a freshman, you think, wow, this is going to go on forever. When you're a senior and those last few games are upon you, there's a sense of urgency there. And for a coach, players that want to achieve something and are down the stretch, they usually gear it up a little bit. That's always fun. I saw it with Paul White and Ehab last year. There was definitely a sense of urgency with those two guys, and I think our three seniors, also I walked by the weight room coming here, and they're both in there lifting, and Peyton's here early. They know what's coming, and you wish players would figure that out their freshman year, but they seem to as they go through their careers.
For the game tomorrow night, first time you guys played Cal, contained Bradley for a good bit, and then at the end he caught a little bit. How do you try to better contain him for the course of 40 minutes?
We contained him for 25. I hope we contain him a little better. You're right, he got 10 of those late, and he's talented, man, and he can get buckets. He's playing really with a great deal of confidence. That big body he is hard to guard. He will be a tough, difficult matchup, and without Chris did a good job on him last night. That size, something. So we don't really have a lot of size. So we're going to have to do a good job, and the guys are going to have to work really hard to try to keep him down, because he's had some really big games, and when they've been successful, he's had big games.
Is there any timetable for return for Chris, or is he done?
We still don't know. I'm not ruling it out completely. He won't play this week, and he won't play in the conference tournament. But after that, we're still keeping the door open, and he's a tough young man. He played through it, but he's got to do what's best for him. And we're not going to take any chances. So if the tournament's a possibility, great. If it's not, I understand that too.
What's something he does that's the hardest thing to try to replace?
Well, for his size, he's a good rebounder, and his steals. We're still going to get the same number of shots. And then we feel like Anthony, and if we get Big Dante going a little bit, and we're getting a few more buckets inside. Maybe I think we'll still get the same offensive production, but those steals and his rebounding are awfully hard to replace.
You get a few more minutes out of Foley this week, maybe?
I think so. He had a really good practice yesterday, so that was encouraging. So I'm hoping we can.
Will turned his ankle in the Civil War game. Is he okay with that? I know he finished the game, but
he hasn't practiced. We'll see what he can do today. And he says he's ready, but the trainer wanted to hold him out. Clay wanted to hold him out. So it'll be a game time decision tomorrow. See how he feels. And, he's played so well. So played really good against the played better after he turned it. I told him, against Oregon State. So, he started the game 0 for 6, hit one shot, turned it, and then he turned it on after that. So, slowed him down and got him into a good pace. But no, we need Will. Will's had a great year for us, and his improvement and what he can grow into is really exciting.
The importance then of Addy, even with Chris being out again. And
Absolutely, no. He's got to keep playing, and we've looked at some things with playing with some more big guys. We just got to keep figuring it out here, working with those guys, and we got guys that can play different spots, and we can change some things around and play big. We did a year ago,
right.
And it worked out for us. Just got to change, the way we approach things, the way we, think of ourselves. We just with boards, we just got to be a better rebounding team, especially if we go big.